Hey guys, it's Bakery here, and I've got something new for you today. It's going to be a weekly vlog on our experiences in HGC and also maybe some topics that I wanted to bring up and talk about or maybe start some discussion on. So obviously it's going to be personal to me, and if you want to keep up with me, then I hope you enjoy it. Going straight into it, today, obviously we're going to look at our HGC games. We beat Playing Ducks 3-1 and lost 3-2 to Fnatic. And the topic I want to talk to you today about is going to be community hate and community criticism, basically. So, overview of Series 1. Generally, we're quite happy with it. Playing Ducks is a solid team. Definitely in that 4th to 5th slot in the European HGC right now, and it was an okay series from us. Obviously 3-1's a good scoreline. It would have been nice to be 3-0 obviously, but it's not quite what happened. Game 1 was really good from our side. It was on Towers of Doom, and we got the draft that we were hoping for, and there were a few minor mistakes, like obviously Zelia ended up getting polymorphed once, and I didn't have cleanse at the time, which, you know, that's the kind of stuff that communication and synergy and just generally playing together is going to help. But on the whole, I think it's one of the fastest games of Towers of Doom that we've seen in HGC. So we're very happy with that game, definitely. Game 2, a lot less happy with that one, actually, as it turns out. We got outdrafted really, really hard. It was yeah, we ended up with like Varian solo tank, and we thought, okay, this gives us a ton of kill potential, we're gonna have control of the rotation, this is gonna be perfectly fine. But it was actually really, really well played by Crisplosion on ETC. Every time we tried to go in, he would W the Varian charge, and then we'd be kind of stuck without being able to initiate, but also in range of them. Especially in range of the Chromie, which was also very well played by Chris, of course. So that game, there were misplays, definitely, but there really wasn't much that we could do from the draft, it felt like. Game 3 was on Praxis. That's not a good map for us, obviously. It's not one of our favourites. We don't like it, personally. But we played really well, I think. It's not a draft that we had actually practiced before. We'd never been forced to. Our practice partners had always given us different things to go with that comp. But we ended up playing with Zul'jin. I think it was also Mane's first time on Zul'jin in that week of scrims at least, and it was his first time in HGC. So, yeah, it's definitely a new draft for us, but we played it really well. We controlled the rotation and we controlled the lanes. And that ended up being quite a good game for us as well. Game 4 was on Battlefield, and that was that was a very good game to start off. It was going really well, and there's an unfortunate thing. I actually tweeted about it. I tweeted a link to the clip, which is me, like my mouse is freaking out. I'm shouting like cleanse to Jay. I'm like, Jay, cleanse, like cleanse, cleanse. And I just can't get my mouse over him. I end up like cleansing Li Ming, who's like way behind the fight. Not even close to anyone, honestly. And then, yeah, I ancestral about 5 seconds too late as well. So it really is a complete disaster. We lose quite a lot from that. They really play well from that point on. Like even going into the Ray late game, they play really well, and we have a bit of a hard time. We're still very much up, because I think we had 2 keeps at that point. Might have just had the 1. But in the end, we made another mistake under their Immortal. But luckily, Mane and Zelia kind of came together. Like Mane says, like, let's do something here. Zelia's like, I'm going to look for root. And then they're very patient about it as well. And they find the perfect opportunity, get the 3-man root. Mane comes over the wall, just blows everyone up. Really well played from both of them, and that's a really good sign for us as a team as well, because those are the 2 main carries of the team, and even though Zele wasn't on a carry hero, and they've synergized perfectly to create a fantastic game-winning situation from one that looked very dire. So that I personally was very, very happy with that play. And yeah, and that was the end of the series as well. So very happy with that game and what it means for us, but a bit disappointed that it wasn't a clean execution from the start. So Series 2 was against Fnatic this week. Fnatic, I would probably say the best team in HGC right now. A lot of people would place them at first or second, that's for sure. And we knew it was going to be a hard series. But I think we were very, very close to being like on that same level, even maybe better. But just on that day, we won. Like, the way that I see matchups between the big three of Europe right now, which is Misfits, Fnatic, and us, Team Dignitas, is whoever has the better grasp on the meta, whoever has the better day can win. I think all the three teams are good at different things, and whoever's doing their thing the best is going to win. I think it's really good, actually. I'm really happy that we have like what feels like real elite competition in Europe right now. And when we get to the mid-season, if the European teams and us keep improving, then I think we're actually going to do really well. I think maybe even win our European team to win. But yeah, as I said, we were slightly behind Fnatic when we played them this week. Game 1 was on Sky. We had control almost the whole game, but we didn't really, like, we couldn't capitalize on it. We couldn't get any meaningful advantage. Like, sure, we got a boss, but I think we lost maybe 1 or 2 people for it because we didn't play it 100% correctly. And also, towards the end of the game, there was this situation where we were kind of thrown off balance, I guess. Zeli ended up getting caught bot in a rotation that was either genius or very, very lucky from them. No one can quite agree. I personally think it was a very good play from them, a very calculated one as well. Where they end up going bot lane, which is in theory a really bad idea because they're going to lose top foot if they go bot and don't get a kill. But that's why they get the kill, because no one would make that trade. It's not worth it. So yeah, great call from them there. Zele gets caught. That gives them the slight XP advantage, which is going to get them 20 faster. They use that, they hop straight on bot shrine. As soon as they hit 20, they instantly drop the shrine, start running into us. We've slightly overextended there as well. And they do end up getting a catch. Although I was very happy with my ice block during that situation. I managed to ice block a very charge. Almost got out. I was very, very close, but Brightwing makes a nice play. Managed to polymorph me. Taunt after the poly from the slow. And I did end up going down. And then they just called with the boss. Very similar to game 2 on Cursed, actually. We did get a meaningful advantage on Cursed, at least. Very, very happy with the early game there. And we managed to get a boss, 16 versus 14. But we weren't able to get the keep. Jay takes a bit too much poke. I think Breeze plays that situation very well. He kind of tries to bait ETC into using his W. He runs like straight at him but doesn't charge at all. As soon as the W comes out, he immediately charges. Obviously, Jay takes a lot of poke from that situation. I think we can still get the keep if I Ancestral Jay when he's kind of out of the fight. And then we go back in with that extra HP and we take the keep. But very good defense from them. And then from that point, it's very hard for us to fight in the late game. We kind of need to force something on them. and the curse tribute for them spawned in a very awkward position, where we kind of were split up and we couldn't all come from the same side because they have hammer, so we kind of need to flank, but then we get split and then they have Chromie Slowing Sands. Difficult situation for us, that's for sure. And they end up getting a pick and a curse there, and that allows them to get the bot keep, which then allows them to get the mid keep, which then allows them to get the mid fort, which then gives them enough XP to be able to be competitive with us to level 20. Because of that, we have to check their boss, and they make a very nice play there again. Wubby actually Holy Grounds me off. A very good play from him. I end up getting stuck behind the Holy Ground, can't cleanse Jay when they go on him, and Jay ends up going down. They used that to take the boss. We were slightly slow on our rotation, but it didn't matter too much. And then it's boss on open core, and that's very hard for us to defend. They also played the situation very well. They weren't actually 20, but they were very patient, very calculated about it, and they were able to core with it. So, yeah, again, good play from them. So, game 3 was on Vraxis Holdout. Again, not a good map for us, but we actually ended up with a very good draft. Something we've played before and something we're very comfortable with. But unfortunately for us, they ended up with a draft that was extremely good into ours. So we had an issue where we ended up having to pick Uther, actually, because they had so much kill potential. And they also had a Zeratul, so they could have kill potential anywhere when we didn't see him. And we ended up with a solo tank and obviously a Ragnaros for the top lane. So we start off the game very well, we get a good trade for us, but unfortunately Ragnaros has this issue where he can't do anything in the top lane. He literally can't do anything because they have a Zeratul and they can kill him if anyone else is top. So we end up in this situation where it goes into mid game and we cannot have anyone alone at any point because Zeratul can just kill them. So yeah, we make some nice plays, but it just continues like this for about 20 levels where we just can't rotate because no one can be alone, and Zeratul is providing so much pressure on either the person that is alone or the other 4-man that they can then hard engage on with VP. So yeah, great draft decision by them. It was also very well played by Wubby for most of the game. So yeah, as I said, after about 20 levels of that, they actually end up going for core, which luckily for us is not successful for them. We have a very good defense with Tychus and Ragnaros. 3 of us are actually stopped from getting back for, I'd say about 8 seconds, at least. Thanks to Wubby, so yeah, he played that one really well. But we do actually get back and we survive with a 3% core. And then we go on to win the game. So yeah, not the best game from us, but we also weren't really behind. It's just we couldn't win. And they thought that they also couldn't win because they could never win a fight against us. And they couldn't really push with Zergwave because we had Ragnar and Sylvanas. So they ended up going for the back door. And we won from that. Game 4 was on Infernal Shrines. And we played a comp that we haven't played in about 2 weeks, I'd say. Which was a Kerrigan comp. Did not start off well. We didn't actually have the tools to keep Kerrigan alive through their CC, and they just their raw damage actually until after 10. So the first 10 levels for us, we have nothing to do, and we don't really know what to do either. But luckily, they actually do make a slight mistake where they stick around and kind of give us a fight. They don't want to take the fight because that's the only way they can lose. So they end up losing Breeze. And from that, we kind of get our foot in the door. And we have, like, a decent chance. Like, for the next few minutes. And we're actually in the game now. But still behind. And then they make another mistake where they try and push bot keep. They get kind of unlucky where Cracknick starts tanking the keep after the minions die. It was quite well played by Snitch as well. And we ended up killing Cracknix, and that puts us completely even. So from that point on, we know exactly what we're doing with our comp. We have the tools, and we're very good at fighting in Team Dignitas. So we actually end up to go and win that game very comfortably, surprisingly, considering we were maybe 3 levels down. When we were level 8, they were level 11. So it was a very bad start, but we did come back, and we're very happy with that. Unfortunately, in game 5, we ended up getting out drafted really, really, very hard. Yeah, it just we decided, like, we know Fnatic are gonna play globals. We know that we can beat them in fights. All we have to do is just pick like this kind of comp, and hopefully we can get control of bot sides, and then we can use that to not care about the globals too much. And once we hit 20, which Dragon usually does, we can probably win the game. But unfortunately, through either slight misplays on our part or just the comp not being robust enough, they snowball really, really hard, and they play around the globals very well. And they end the game without us ever really doing anything. So yeah, a bit of an unfortunate game 5 to end what was otherwise a very interesting, exciting series. As I said at the start, we think we're very close to being as good as them. We really do. And I think that at the Western Clash, like, we all feel really comfortable, and we think that we can maybe be the team to win there. So our last thing for today is the topic that I wanted to talk to you about, and that's community, not so much criticism, but community hate. Right now, the favorite punching bag of like Reddit and Twitter, which is mainly what I'm talking about when I say community criticism, that kind of thing. Most of it, from my perspective, is coming from Twitter and Reddit. Obviously, Niventic is getting a huge amount right now, but just a few months ago at the Gold Club World Championship, it was Tempo Storm. Going back even further, it was probably like Liquid. Going back maybe even further than that, then we're looking at Fnatic. When they qualified over Misfits, there's a lot of hate, surprisingly, towards them, because people thought that they were the 3rd place team. And obviously they proved all those people wrong at BlizzCon, happily. But yeah, it's just, there's always someone. It never ends. Right now it's Niventic. In a month's time, it might not be. Probably won't be. And hell, they might even become a fan favorite again. So yeah, like, just players shouldn't care. Like, players really shouldn't care, because when you are a player, you have to have faith that your judgment and your abilities are sound. And you have to know where you're weak, and you have to want to improve that, but that should come from people you trust. And a lot of the times, like, people on Reddit, you don't know them. You don't know if they are trustworthy. You don't know if they are serious even. I'd imagine a lot of these people just want to hate because it feels good, you know? So players shouldn't care, but they always do, because it was a quote from a League of Legends player. I don't remember exactly which one. This is season 6, where they said, like, we know that community hate shouldn't affect us. We know that they are wrong. But every time that we read all these comments, it's just human nature. Like, eventually you start to believe it yourself. Maybe it's on your teammate who's getting a lot of hate at that point. I think in G2, some people even started to have issues with perks, and perks started to have issues. Just because everyone on Twitter and Reddit hated him, but in reality, before that bandwagon came about, there were no issues, and nobody had seen that side, really. So yeah, people shouldn't care, but they do. And pro players always read Twitter and Reddit as well. That's the other thing. Is like, so there's a few tabs that I've open at all times. Like, one is Twitter and one is Reddit, and I'm always refreshing the Heroes Reddit. And I'm reading discussion, I'm reading about the game, I'm reading, maybe even watching other people's content. And that means that by doing that, I'm also reading this community hate as well. And some of it is at me and some of it is at Team Dignitas. And truly, I shouldn't do that. I just should, like, not read that kind of stuff. But I want to, because that's what I enjoy as a person, But yeah, I mean, I think one of the issues is that people don't get to see behind the scenes. If people saw like what pro players did when they weren't streaming, when they weren't playing in HGC, it's all practicing. It, like, be it Hero League or scrims, every team in the European HGC is scoring 8 hours a day, or sorry, practicing 8 hours a day as a team, and obviously everyone's Hero League as well. I'd say at least 3 games per day on average for every player. And everyone is pouring their life into it. Like, this is everything to almost every player. And yeah, it just feels bad to see people not understand that and not see that, and they just see maybe sloppy play, or they see their favorite team losing, and sure, they get angry. And yeah, I didn't really have a message here, but I guess if I had to have a message, then my message would be like, pro players are people too, just like everyone else, and people should think about them before, hating on them. So yeah, that was it. Sorry to end on a bit of a depressing note, but hopefully we won't do that in the next weeks. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Team Dignitas YouTube channel for more content like this, and you can find me on Twitter at Bakery Heroes, on YouTube at youtube.com/TheNewerBakery, and of course on heroesouth.com. See you guys next week. Welcome to this Moonfarm Malfurion video guide. This is a bit of an off-meta build, but that doesn't mean it's not good. In fact, it's even been used in the HGC.